Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
All of today's guests, including Craig Button, standing by, brought to you by the Bayside Oceanfront Resort. Located oceanside in beautiful Parksville, the Bayside is one of Vancouver Island's premier getaway spots, one of BC's premier getaway spots, one of Canada's premier getaway spots. Book your island getaway today at BaysideOceanfrontResort.com or call 250-248-8333. Special deal for viewers and listeners of Donnie and Dolly as we bring in TSN Scouting Director Craig Button. Craig, thanks for doing this. How are you?
I am very well. How are you gentlemen today?
Good. Lovely. Craig, your latest draft rankings are out. NHL draft rankings are out. I see you're excited about that. Canucks right now, if they stood pat after the lottery, would pick 7th. This draft, the quality of this draft, can the Canucks get someone decent, a player of decent quality at number 7?
Oh, I don't think there's any question they can, and they will if they stay in that range. I think this draft has a lot of really good, top-notch forwards, and it starts with Connor Bedard, but after that, there's some real terrific forwards. I think the dilemma, and it's not always about the 7th pick or the 8th pick or wherever Vancouver finds themselves picking. It's trying to bolster your prospect pool. They have some really good forwards on their team. They signed Mikheyev and Kuzmenko, and I'm a broken record. But until they get defensemen that can come in and make a discernible difference to their team, they're not going anywhere. They're simply not going anywhere. Now, whether you got to use that pick to get a defenseman, whether you use some of your prospects or current players to get a defenseman, that's what you have to do. You will get quality, in my view, real good quality, real significant quality, picking in the top 12, 13 players of this year's draft.
You recently described, and Connor Bedard is at the top of your list. No surprise there. You alluded to that there. Connor Bedard at the top of your list recently described him as a generational talent, a la Connor McDavid. What makes him a generational talent? And is there anything he needs to work on, to improve on?
Yeah. Well, the great thing about great players is they're always looking to be better, whatever it may be. I mean, Connor McDavid a season and a half ago was looking to improve on his one-timer, right? Players are Austin Matthews was looking to improve on his all-around defensive game. So I don't think that there's any player of that ilk that isn't looking to be that much better all the time. Donnie and Rick, I don't want to use, nobody wants to have the generational word be overused because then it diminishes, the application of it. And, as time was going on, I was asking myself, I was straddling the line, even during the World Junior Tournament, I kept talking about Connor Bedard hasn't done something at this age with respect to dominating the tournament since Wayne Gretzky in 1978 at the World Junior Tournament. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I keep comparing him to Wayne Gretzky, who absolutely was a generational player. And I go, how can I keep straddling that line? I finally walked over the line and into the generational room, and I think Connor Bedard belongs in it. When you think that everything he's done, getting exceptional status, and from the minute he stepped into the Western Hockey League, all he has done is it's one thing to meet the expectations. He's exceeded them. He's been dominant from day one. He was dominant in his return on Sunday in the Western Hockey League. And I don't see anything that's going to tell me he's going to be anything less than dominant. So if I get the specifics on things you got to improve, I think like a player that is he'll turn 18 at the end of July. 18, that's when he'll turn 18. All those little things, those becoming a little bit quicker, becoming, just a little bit faster. He already has he's already a really good skater. And, but getting a little quicker, getting a little bit more nimble are things you're going to absolutely help him because he's already elusive. He's already really hard to keep under wraps. And, we were standing on the set prior to the gold medal game and we were getting ready for the pregame. And, that was when I talked about Connor and, made the case for him to be a generational player. And, there's good debate. There was a lot of people up there and there was good debate and people said, what about his skating? What about his shot? Like, how big is he? And I said, well, why don't we ask Mr. Bob McKenzie here what they said about Wayne Gretzky, because Bob watched him at that age. And this was Bob's, I'll paraphrase it. Bob said, oh, they said he wasn't a great skater, didn't have a great shot, wasn't that big, will get eaten alive in pro hockey. Oh.
Craig, what is going on in the Western Hockey League? Kamloops sent 10 picks, 4 first-rounders. Ostapchuk got 8 pieces to Vancouver, 3 first-rounders. Do you approve of this? These teams, that's a lot of draft picks. And at the Western Hockey League level, Craig, you cannot build without going through the draft.
Yeah, Rick, what I would say to you, there's only going to – Kamloops is hosting the Memorial Cup, and I get it. But Kamloops has won 3 Memorial Cups. And, yes, they won 1 on home ice. And, you start to look at, where their team is at, and it's a good team. Obviously, it's a better team with Olin Zellweger. I hope the people in Kamloops are going to be satisfied with a team that's going to be really struggling for the next number of years. When they graduate players and they don't have any players coming in. I've seen it too many times. I saw it in Saskatoon. I saw it in Swift Current. We're going to see it again, and there's no question about it. And what I really do is I give credit to teams. I give credit to Dennis Williams and Everett. That recognizes. I give credit to the Vancouver Giants. They recognize, okay, where are we? Okay, we're not really a contender. Let's not kid ourselves. So let's here's the word I'm going to use. So let's exploit, this incredible appetite that teams have to think they can all win. All I know is the teams making the big moves are giving up a tremendous amount. There will only be one champion in the Western Hockey League. There will only be one Memorial Cup champion, and there will be a whole lot of pain down the road for a number of these teams.
Yeah, well, Craig, go look at Winnipeg Ice, their next 4 drafts. They don't have a first, second, third rounder for the next 4 years. They're mortgaging everything for today. I want to ask you, Craig, Jim Rutherford did an article in the Pittsburgh Tribune today, talked about the stress, and possibly retiring someday. And can you give us some insight into being a GM in a Canadian market, how tough it is? Look, Craig, it's tough. It's tough. I think they're realizing how tough of a market Vancouver is. It's been a lot of losing hockey here for a long time.
So, Rick, Rick and Donnie, I'll put this question to you. So what do we call a tough market? A market that's passionate about hockey? A market that knows hockey? A market that demands a better hockey team? If that's tough, then boy, oh boy, then you're in the wrong line of work if you want to be a GM or a coach in those places, right? The beautiful thing about working in a Canadian market is you're working in markets where hockey matters. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now we have people complain, oh geez, the market's so tough working in Canada. I was thrilled to work in Calgary. I was thrilled to work every day. Were the demands really significant? Yeah, I would say that if you're a competitor, the demands are significant anywhere you are, because the job is to position your team to compete and to ultimately win. So, all this kind of complaining about the Canadian markets, I hate it. I think it's just, I think what it is unnecessary complaining. You don't want to be here. You want to complain about the markets, then just leave. Then just step away and leave. Because whatever market you choose to be in, it'll come with its advantages. It'll come with its challenges. But to be in a Canadian market where it matters and people know the game and demand and want a good team, wow. If you're complaining about that, then I don't think there's anything that'll ever make you happy.
Craig, Rick loves it when I say this. The opposite of love isn't hate. It's indifference. You don't want to be in an indifferent market. You want some passion out there, even if it means the people are angry. So
Donnie, let me add to that.
Yes.
I lived it.
Yeah.
Think about this. There was no hockey in Minnesota, the state of hockey in the United States, for 7 seasons. Mm. Our team in Minnesota left to go to Dallas. I experienced that indifference.
Right.
I saw what it was like. You never want to be there. They lost hockey. I tell young people, no, there was no NHL. They go, what? What do you mean there was no? 7 seasons, no NHL hockey in Minnesota. You never want indifference.
Craig, one more very, very quickly, but this Seattle team, They win 4-0 in Montreal. They've won 5 straight. 26 goals in those 5 games. Third in the Pacific. Quickly, what are you seeing?
Well, you're talking about a way more capable offensive team. And Ron Francis, set out in the offseason to improve the offense. I mean, they were a team that couldn't overcome weak goaltending last year. Their goaltending has been, just okay would, I think, be a compliment. So the fact of the matter is that they have a really good offensive group that can take advantage. I thought prior to Christmas that we might see a real, not a real drop-off, but a fall-off in their play. We haven't seen it, and I think a big part of that is the offense. And, as long as they stay healthy, I think this is a team that, while I may have been a little bit of a doubter prior to Christmas, they're proving me wrong.
Craig, thanks for this. Appreciate it. The opposite of love isn't hate; it's indifference. Throw that around. People will be impressed. Okay.
I'm with you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, Craig. Appreciate it.